What's up, gamers and geeks? Matt here with That's Fair Podcasting and Gaming Geeks Live. And I'm going to ask, have you guys played a long campaign? Have you guys played enough tabletop, mainly Dungeons and Dragons, and had a long campaign and something that you seriously invested your character into? You put so much time and effort into it, only to be let down by a party member that decided to betray you? Well, stay tuned, because that's exactly what I have going on in my current campaign. I won't lie, I'm showing my age here. I've played Dungeons and Dragons for 40 years now. I've been a dungeon master for just over 35. I'm just showing my age, I'm not gonna lie. But I played all editions. Played first edition and second edition that had Thaco or Thaco, third, 3.5, fourth, fifth, 3.5 is by far my favorite. But guys, if you are new here, please feel free to subscribe to That's Fair Podcasting or Gaming Geeks Live. Maybe like the video, help us in that little algorithm, and we're kind of at your mercy. And if you don't do any of these and you just kind of follow this needless rant, thank you so much for joining. I sincerely appreciate it. But I want to talk to you about the story so far as it stands. I told my group that I was going to have a first level party, and I was going to, as a DM, do my damnedest to make sure that I didn't kill us off. And I mean that. I wanted to do everything I could to make sure that we survived, we lived. I wanted us to climb the ranks, start from scratch, semi-strict rules at level 1, and build these guys up. And that's exactly what we did. And at first level, we had basically we had to go to a farming community outside the city of Cormyr, which I called Bellhaven. It was a small village that we're talking about missing residents. And so for a first level group, there was, I think 7 of us. Let's see, carry the 2. I think 7 of us, maybe 8. But we went and we searched for them. And again, a first level party. It was 2 weeks east from the village of Bellhaven. And we ultimately stumbled upon a goblin camp where these residents were being held and obviously being sold into servitude. But the thing is on the way, we had a lot of random encounters, and rescuing them within the goblin camp and bringing them back, ultimately we rose 5 levels, mainly because of random encounters. I didn't want to throw stuff at us that would kill us, but I like to roll in the original Dungeon Master's Guide, first edition, the random encounters tables. Obviously you can do it in wilderness, hills and mountains and flatlands and all that. But anyway, so I did that, and we had a lot of encounters. And the good news is we got to raise 5 levels. And it was a pretty good start to an adventure. So at 5th level, the next adventure awaits. And that level would be a ghost ship that our party ultimately found themselves residing in Luskan at 5th level. My player was a monk. My wife was a rogue, humans, both of them were humans. My nephew Josh was a wood elf wizard. My stepson was a half-elf fighter. My daughter was, what was she? I think I have it written down over here. A human rogue. And my brother-in-law was a human paladin. So 6, I think, however many that is. Anyway, yeah, you get it. No, because my stepson's girlfriend was a cleric. That's right. So anyway, human cleric. So there were 7 of us. And we're all level 5. And we go to this ghost ship. Well, the ghost ship ultimately had us going farther away because it disappeared after 3 days before we had a chance. And it goes a little farther south to I don't remember the name of the small community, but ultimately it was about 20 days ride south, small farming or harbor community, just a little port community. And ultimately they were able to board the boat and take care of the Wraith. They leveled up a little bit, and then ultimately they took care of the Wraith. It was called the Wraith ship is what we called it. It was one Wraith, and it had some lesser undeads. And ultimately, it would lead us into a tomb where we would find that we had to, the Wraith, the captain, we weren't able to kill the captain, the Wraith of the ship. So we had to go into the tomb, ultimately lay its bones to rest where he was buried. And that in turn leveled us all up. Ultimately, we would get to level 10. It was a much harder campaign, much longer campaign. But anyway, at level 10, this is where shit hit the fan. My nephew Josh, the elven wizard, decided that, and this was the long con, guys, this was the long con. He confided in me way back at level 5 with this group, he was going to do this. And I'm like, okay, well, as Dungeon Master, I can't say a word, even though I know even my monk, who I was so proud of, was facing impending doom. Well, anyway, here's the quick of it. So we go into this dungeon where we have to find where this woman, she hired us on this high level mission at level 10 to go into this dangerous dungeon where she had some items that she ultimately buried while she was kind of getting up there in age. So she has us go do it. Well, we run into a high elven wizard, but come to find out that high elven wizard was my nephew Josh's, Magnus was his name, was his master. He was a vampire. He would ultimately get my nephew with vampirism, and then my nephew ultimately got the entire party with vampirism, not knowing. It was unknowingly to us. In our sleep, we got nailed with vampirism, and we ended up becoming his vampire thralls, or spawn, which means we are under his compulsion, his mental command. We have to now currently play a couple of. I told him this is what he wanted. He destroyed the entire party. The entire party, like outside the game, kind of wanted to kick his ass. Me, I'm DM. I didn't care. But anyway, he turns the entire party into vampires. Now we're an evil party. We have to play that a couple of times, and the conclusion is we are creating high-level characters, 15th to 17th level. By the time we get to these, we have to create high-level characters to stop this evil party. It's the only time my nephew ever got to do this. I had to share the story. It was something he was so excited to do. He finally got his evil party. And, even my brother-in-law, who had the paladin, I think the reverse of that was ultimately a death knight. But he wasn't happy because his favorite thing's a paladin. He's the other half of Gaming Geeks Live. He plays Baldur's Gate 3 as a paladin. So anyway, guys, that's the story. We're creating a high-level character group to go in and eradicate our first party. So anyway, he wanted to play a couple of times. That's where we're at. We're going to leave off. This is our first of 2 segments of D&D that we're ultimately going to play an evil party of vampires, and his goal is to go to Waterdeep, but there's no way he's going to be able to take that over. He can take smaller villages over right now, but our upcoming group is going to save the day, at least I hope. But anyway, guys, that was it. I just wanted to tell you Dungeons and Dragons, the story so far. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. I sincerely appreciate it. And please subscribe to That's Fair Podcasting or Gaming Geeks Live. Like the video, like I said, if you don't mind, please. And if you don't do any of those things and you just watch, thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate it. And to all you gamers, all love. And I'm outro.